So I just got back from London, which means I'm like super cultured now and jet lagged.
You know, if you can't tell from the bags under my eyes.
I just wanted to share my experience to my fellow Americans from another fellow American about what to expect when you go to the other side of the pond. Here's just some like helpful tips and like things to look out for if you've never been. You're welcome. So I did try to vlog my experience when I was there. Like I really tried. The first day I was like, no, I can't do this. This isn't for me. So that ended real quick. So then I just started making notes about all the differences between New York and London, and we're just gonna go from there. So let's just jump right in. I'm tired of doing this intro. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes. So first of all, when you go to the other side of the world, just do yourself a favor and save enough money to get a first class ticket, because flying economy for 6 hours there and then 8 hours back is just like one of the worst things, I think. Along with the flight, just don't eat the food. Just don't do it. Regardless of how hungry you are, or how good you think it might look, it's not good. And your bowels will hate you for the entire day that you land there. And no, I'm not talking from experience. This is just what I heard. Obviously. Just like overwhelm yourself with snacks from the airport and just like go to town on those. Also, pack enough American snacks for the ride home, because their snacks are so weird. Like, you won't want to eat their snacks. They have Doritos and things, but their Doritos aren't like nacho cheese or Cool Ranch. It's like original Dorito, or it's like tangy cheese Dorito. It's like, what? Pack enough American snacks, not only to hold yourself over for the 6 hours there, but also the 8 hours back. You'll thank me later, I promise. So once you get to London, there's just a couple of general things you should know about it. The weather is unpredictable as hell. It's sunny sometimes, and then like within the next hour, it's raining. The weather app is just going to tell you that it's partly cloudy all day, because even they can't keep up with how unpredictable the weather is in London. So don't listen to that, and make sure that you always have a raincoat, an umbrella, and like layers every single day, because you never know what's going to happen there. The main difference between London and New York is that London is all spread out. Everything is a 30 to 45 minute tube ride from each other. But that was just super unexpected, just because everything in New York is literally like right on top of each other. So don't expect like a 10-minute subway ride down a few avenues and then up a few streets. Like, no, everything is so spread out. Also, on top of that, everything is a much slower pace in Europe. It's not grab and go. I got places to go, people to see. I'm getting my coffee to go, grabbing my newspaper, and jumping on the subway. It's very much relaxed and a much slower pace. So if you're an impatient mess like me, it might be kind of frustrating sometimes, because just like not how we operate in America, especially New York. So also just mentally prepare yourself for that. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the tube, which is their subway system. You're going to want to get yourself an Oyster card, which is the same thing as a Metro card. You know, you put money on it, you swipe in, you do the ride. But you must know that you need to put a good amount of money on this sucker, because it's not just one flat fee for the entirety of your, subway ride. Not only do you swipe in to the tube, but you swipe out. So they keep track of how far you've traveled, and that's how they charge you. It's not just a $2.75 subway ride. It could be like a good £8 ride. Even though that sounds like a real con to traveling in London, the tube is super easy, like way less complicated than New York. And their tube is so clean. Like, it's so clean. I did not see one rat when I was there, or like weird pile of garbage, or like weird puddle, and you don't know whether or not it's like urine or throw up. Like, there was none of that. And they do something really cute where they leave newspapers, like they'll leave the daily newspaper like on the seats of the subway, so when the next person comes to sit down, they get a nice little look at the tabloids on their commute to work. I'd say I wish we'd do things like that in America, but I try to avoid the news as much as possible. It always finds me, and well, we're just not going to go there because we're talking about London in this video. So moving on. Now let's talk about food. So here's the English breakfast tea, even though this is coffee, because I do have a dependence on coffee now, because I drank it for 6 days straight, because I was either drinking coffee or I was drinking alcohol. Like, there was no water consumption. So I do have a caffeine addiction, which is fine, because if I don't drink it, then I just get headaches, and that's not that bad comparatively to some addictions. Anyway, what were we talking about? When you go to London, don't get like British cuisine. I got like Korean barbecue one night. Like, that was really good. They're really well known for their Indian. Get their Indian food. I even stumbled upon an American themed restaurant. It was like American barbecue. The guy sitting next to us, literally a full grown man, looked at his plate and said, "Yo, this is fried meat? That's insane." Obviously, they're in the best shape of their lives, but that's because they're not eating their food because it's gross. So I'm just super important about their coffee. You need to drink your coffee right away. And I'll tell you why. Is because here in America, since everyone's in a rush to get where they gotta go, baristas don't let like the temperature settle enough for you to just get the coffee and immediately start drinking. What's the first thing we do when we get a coffee from Starbucks or whatever is we pop this guy open and then we let it cool for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we burn our mouths anyway. So they make it an enjoyable temperature from start to finish, but that means that it gets cold 10 times faster. So I would get my coffee in restaurants and let it sit for 5 minutes, because this is the process that I've been used to all my life, and my coffee would be cold by the time that I was like thought it would be ready to start drinking. So just drink your coffee right away so that it doesn't get cold, because they prepared it for you special so you don't burn your esophagus while you're trying to enjoy your morning. You might want to pack a bagel on your trip there, because there are no bagels in Europe. There are no bagels in London. There's no bagels. And if a place says that they have bagels, just know that they are sitting on a throne of lies, and it is not a bagel. Okay, also, a big part of their culture, obviously, is alcohol. So after work, around like 5, 6 o'clock is like a huge drinking hour for people, because they're off the clock now and they can do whatever the heck they want. While you're walking down the streets, people will just be overflowing, pouring out of these pubs, just like drinks in hands, just like socializing and drinking all over the streets and just having a nice little party after work. And it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, this happens 7 out of 7 days.
Why can't America be like this? Why do we all have to f***ing hate each other? Can't we just drink together and have a good time? My God.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Things close insanely early over there. Last call at their pubs is somewhere in between 11 and 11:30.
Closes early. Too early.
Oh,
And I'm starving.
because we didn't eat before the show. Don't blame it on
Need
me.
fish and chips. You think it'd be so accessible in London, and it's not.
Just be prepared for that. You have to go out like around 9 o'clock if you want to get a nice, like, good night in. That was just, like, the one annoying part about the whole bar scene. But the bars are really cool, and you only have to be 18 there, so go crazy. But also be responsible. I feel like I should say that. Definitely be responsible. Overall, it was a really great experience. I'm so glad that I got to check out pretty much a different way of life on the other side of the world. I got to check out their theater scene.
Just saw Hamilton. It was maybe. I wish we had a program to show you.
Don't have
But get
evidence
this, they make
because
you
they
pay for
charge for the programs.
Wasn't it £4?
Yeah, which is like $18 US.
No, it's
so
not. That is the wrong conversion.
No, I know.
I got to see Shakespeare's Globe Theater while I was there, which is really cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Obviously got to see Buckingham Palace.
I don't know why they're guarding this castle when the real queen's right here. That was really disrespectful to Liz. I'm so sorry. It's the Popo.
Go ahead.
Does it look like I'm holding them?
All right, put your hand up a little bit more. This way. A little bit more. Now raise it more. Yes.
This is really hurting my hand.
Perfect. You're holding him.
The London Eye.
Get me in the eye. Get me in the eye. Get me, get me. Does it look like I'm holding it?
No, put it over there more. Up a little bit more that way. Perfect.
And Tower Bridge.
That's the ship that they opened this bridge for.
Anyway, I hope you found this video to be educational, considering wherever you go, go with all your heart. That was a quote by Confucius. This got weirdly serious, and maybe we should do this again sometime. Get this red bus.
Did you get it?
I've been recording.
Okay.